Hey, BBL, Drizzy. Hey, let's go. Yeah. Dre just got this by ASAP Rocky and J. Cole, and I just did the reaction too.
Now,
So let's go,
continuing the
man. Let's go.
rollout for
Let's
his
go. Let's
long-awaited
go.
upcoming album, Don't Be Dumb, ASAP Rocky has released a brand new song called Ruby Rosary, and now with this track, as opposed to the cut he released before this, Taylor Swift, which was a fun banger with a super entertaining
Hey,
music
hold up there.
video. This is
Before he even says anything, I didn't even think about it while I just did that fucking reaction. Drake already just did a track with ASAP Rocky. ASAP Rocky got a child with Rihanna. Drake is in beef with ASAP Rocky. J. Cole just did a track with ASAP Rocky. Yo. Alright, let's go.
is a much darker cut and a way more serious moment for the future of hip hop, because with this track, Rocky doesn't just further tease what has been going into this album that he has been working on for 6 years and seemingly raise the expectations higher once again. But he is dissing Drake on this track and making a significant power play against him that is going to have some crazy ramifications after this, because with this song, beyond merely taunting Drake like he did on his cut Hijack, Rocky actually unleashes his lyrical sword as he responds to the disses that were thrown out against him on Family Matters, and his looming tensions with Drake with some serious bars. But before we can look at what he said and see how it responds to Drake and rains more havoc onto the rap world, we have to look at the build-up to how Rocky made this moment all the more menacing, not just for the song
Alright, let's go.
itself,
Let's
but
go.
for this haunting diss and warning statement against Drake, because just from the beat alone, which is produced by the one and only Alchemist, as this is
Alchemist,
one of
alright.
Uncle Al's biggest production credits since doing the beat for Kendrick Lamar's genre-stopping diss track Meet
Hip
the
hop
Grams.
has a alive
Seeing
again
the
by the
Alchemist
sounds of it,
appear
man.
alongside another one of Drake's biggest enemies at the moment has to send some sort of shockwave through his spine, just because of how horrifying the last time a similar thing happened was for Drake, and just from how much of a downward spiral it sent his entire career and reputation down. But this time around, Rocky isn't revealing that Drake is hiding a kid or anything of that sort. But this doesn't mean that he doesn't go into him, because during this track, over one of the most menacing beats we have heard him
I
rap
did love
over,
that
and
beat,
with
though.
one of the best written verses he
I
has
did say that, man. When I heard that track, though, I was like, yo, this beat sounded sick, though. This is like one of them old school kind of New Yorky kind of a feel, but old school, early 2000s kind of a beat.
delivered in years. Rocky drops a series of scathing bars towards Drake, which really lay out where the two are at and what Rocky is preparing to do against him when things really heat up, seemingly because during the track, in Rocky's first verse, which in of itself is this hypnotic experience with how smooth his delivery is over this intense yet ghostly beat, he sets up what's about to come later with the bars. People want smoke with me, tell him push up Hercules, Hercules tell him push up, tell him pull up 33. And now with these bars, Rocky is merely taunting Drake and setting the stage for what's to follow, as he nods to the first song Drake released in the entire saga of his beef with Kendrick Lamar and everyone else who came at him, which was of course push-ups. And pretty much by
I remember
alluding to
that.
this, Rocky is joking about this
And the thing
moment
is,
and telling Drake
this is
to
where
add
Drake is just doing the subliminals, man. All the subliminals to get a man. And by way of getting at him is trying to say, like, you know what I mean? I had your woman.
this point after showing that after all of the setup on that track, which of course as we all saw there was absolutely no payoff to his words, Rocky is jokingly making him double down on those sentiments, and when we look back on them, what was a ridiculous track because of how bad it aged for Drake and everything he was trying to push on it, but now building on this and actually letting off real lyrical fire. On the second verse of this track, Rocky's pen gets more intense, and during one of the most passionate verses we have heard from him in a very long time, Rocky directly responds to Drake's Family Matters, because if we go back to that track, and remember the bars that Drake threw Rocky's way, which threatened him and pretty much had Drake saying that he was going to destroy him if Rocky took this any further, and then also pouring more salt on this, Drake tried to
I
rip
remember
up
that.
his relationship
Yeah.
with Rihanna by bringing up his and her past. Rocky directly responds to this by first off acknowledging Drake's threat about trying to destroy his career and life, and then takes this sentiment and throws it right back on him as Rocky questions how Drake could even be capable of doing such a thing considering the absolute mess of his career and life at this point. And this is honestly crazy that Rocky is saying this, because while many rappers I'm sure are thinking
Right.
about that Drake will never
In a sense, too, this is what I'm trying to say, fam. Like, how many people in the industry you going to have coming at you? Like, it's coming kind of embarrassing now. To the point when they label you a culture vulture, it kind of seems like you really is, because it's like all the main guys who are about this art, hip hop, rap, who take it seriously, bro. You try to sneak dissing them through their woman, through their misses, their girlfriends, their wives, their people they're sleeping with, bro. That's how you try to get at them. As a dude, I just can't. I can't do a DJ academic, so I'm out. I can't stand behind that. I can't sign that off, bro. I'm just, yeah. It's nothing about street. I just can't sign that off. It's no.
Never get back to the place he was once at because of how poorly he has handled the aftermath of this beef. This is the first time we are hearing somebody make fun of just how bad the past few months of his career have been on a microphone, and now following this up and adding more validity to all of these disses. Rocky goes on a tangent filled with some really clever wordplay where he first says, "Cut everything but the family ties."
Yeah.
And now this is a super layered bar that seems to have multiple meanings, as on the
I had a
surface,
feeling when I heard
it is
that.
alluding to the fact
I
that
was gonna say something when I heard the family ties, and he said something again, rhyming off of that. I was like, bro, he's kind of alluding to Drake and mob ties. You know what I'm saying?
that Drake has cut everybody off except the
But-
strange people who he keeps around and refers to as his OVO family. But then this is also Rocky paying homage to Kendrick Lamar and using his presence to heighten the message he is sending to Drake, as he is directly referencing the Kendrick and Baby Keem track of the same name, where looking back on it, Kendrick was clearly talking about Drake on the second verse of that track. And now Rocky does not stop here when it comes to using Kendrick and holding him up as a beam to destroy Drake in an even greater way than he ever could on his own, as in a few lines after this, he comes back around to this Family Ties reference and says, "Cut the stuff, cut the lies, words to the wise, who in your top 5, haha, F your top 5. And now this is again calling back to the Kendrick bar from that track where he is talking about how he destroys everybody's top 5.
Real talking.
But then on top of this, it's also looking at the grim state Drake's career is in, as it alludes back to Push-Ups once again and the sample at the end of the track, which features none other than DJ Academics, and his infamous clip where he says that his top 5 is Drake.
I hope Academics is getting a paycheck from OVO. Like, he's getting something. Because the way him and Mal be glazing, they best be getting something for their services.
Drake,
No, did he?
and Drake. And this is all super clever and well-connected wordplay from Rocky, and now continuing this lyrical strike. Rocky pushes this even more and lets us fully know that what we heard is really about Drake, as he responds to even more disses from Family Matters, where this time, he responded to where Drake said that he only gets hyped up for how he dresses, and that is the only reason why people even talk about him at this point, by rapping a super clever bar that alludes to the fact that his sense of style is unmatched in not just the rap world, but in all of pop culture. And then after this clever series of words that talk about how well he dresses, he ends the line saying, "I'm buried alive." So now Rocky shuts down this attack by just showing how good of an MC he is, as he flips a Drake song name back on his head, and at that, by referencing Buried Alive, he is once again referencing Kendrick Lamar, as this is a Kendrick Lamar interlude on Take Care. And on top of this, and adding even more to
That's what I'm
it,
saying.
this was
the internet, these internet guys who be covering this stuff, they undefeated, bro. Like, you want to hear people be breaking down bars. That's why when I do reactions, I don't really break down bars. Not break down, but I catch literally what I can hear in the first take. I might hear a few things. You see me look at the camera, like, I got that. But I try not to break down too much, you know what I'm saying? Because you got people who do that. But I love watching these where they break them down even into detail. Like, you're like, whoa, shit, I missed that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
a Drake song name back on his head, and at that, by referencing Buried Alive, he is once again referencing Kendrick Lamar, as this is a Kendrick Lamar interlude on Take Care. And on top of this, and adding even more to it, this was the song that Drake made a parody of to prelude the release of Family Matters, and by validating his sense of style through this bar as well, he melts a bunch of rebuttals down with this one line. And now closing this diss out, if all of that wasn't enough for you to believe that Rocky is calling out Drake, he says, "I heard dog talking funny like it's Family Guy," which is another bar that, just like Kendrick Lamar did on Like That, is using a fictional dog to try and place Drake down and make him look like this absolute joke, and this time, instead of calling him Goofy like Kendrick did, Rocky is of course calling him Brian from Family Guy. And now with all
Brian.
of this, Rocky really did a great job of firing back to Drake and what he said on Family Matters. And with Rocky not just responding, but pointing the mirror back at Drake and letting him know just how bad of a state his career is in at the moment, I think it's a powerful angle
Drake
to take, because
needs
it's
to
the
take
first
a little
time we're
break right
seeing
now. He's
another
flopping.
rapper acknowledge just how horrible things have gotten for Drake, and now making all of this worse for him.
He's flopping right now. My boy needs to just put down the mic, take a little vacation, come back in a year's time. It'll blow over. There'll be some drama. Sure, P. Diddy and all this other stuff going on will, you know what I mean, push whatever shit that he's gone through with Kendrick under the table for a bit. People won't forget. They won't forget. But and come back after a year, his fans will still be there. But right now, he needs to chill, bro. Everything he does, he makes himself look worse. You know what I'm saying?
If The Alchemist beat and all of those bars were not enough, none other than J. Cole delivers the final verse on this track. And now with this being Cole's first verse in months, while Cole himself is just rapping his head off and is not directly dissing Drake or alluding to any of the drama that's been in the rap world for about the past year at this point, his feature being here is a power move from A$AP Rocky to make these disses sting all the more, because by flipping the guy who was once the last real MC on his side and having him appear on this track, which features a beat from the guy who produced the most insulting song ever made about you, and that features another rapper directly throwing disses at you, it's now grouping J. Cole into this bunch of rappers who are against Drake, and now Drake and J. Cole's relationship at this point needs to be really studied to see where these two actually stand. But regardless, what we can see from this track is just like what Future and Metro Boomin did on...
Drake sent some subliminal shots at J. Cole, even in his song, like, oh, J. Cole could consider you the top 5 or whatever, saying about something when he was talking about him apologizing, like, yo, fam.
We Still Don't Trust You's track, Red Leather. They are using the presence of Cole to stir the pot in this beef and make the odds against Drake stand even taller. So now with Rocky doing all of this to get back at the guy who won't seemingly leave him and his wife alone, and in the process is delivering an amazing song that embodies the pure spirit of hip-hop better than 99% of everything else that's dropped this year, I gotta hand it to him at this point, and Drake really better drop a diss or response to Rocky soon, because if he does, things are gonna somehow only get worse for him as more rappers just continue to belittle his name and legacy. And now with all of this said, let me know. What do you think about this new track from A$AP Rocky, and do you feel...
Yeah, I think that track was dope from A$AP Rocky. And to have J. Cole on it too, that's a slap in the face. But J. Cole is on a peace, harmony kind of Buddha vibes right now, I don't want no beef. I'm cool with everyone. Because you ain't talking to him don't mean I ain't have to talk to him, you know what I'm saying? So I respect J. Cole's scenery still. J. Cole's still better.